What up, guys? Max here, bringing you a brand new Ekko YouTube video, and this is Ekkonomics 10.24 at Ekko University, where we talk about everything Ekko for patch 10.24. We're going to talk about Ekko's best runes, his best builds, the must bans, and Ekko's patch rating for patch 10.24, which comes out in just a few short days. And let's get ready for it, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, let's talk about the best rune page for Ekko in pre-season 11 and patch 10.24, and that is Domination Sorcery. And we're going to talk about why Sorcery is really good now. But firstly, Domination tree stays the same. Electrocute, Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, Ravenous Hunter. The standard, it's always been like that. But now Sorcery, you want to go Mana Flow ban, Transcendence. Transcendence is super OP. It gives you 10 ability haste by like level 9 to level 8. And then at level 11, it gives you 20% cooldown resets when you get a killer and assist. So it basically turns you into like a mini Katarina. You know what I mean? So it's really useful, especially with a lot of Ekko's items not having CDR, ability haste. Those resets come like become super handy when you're in a team fight. But aside from that, the Mana Flow ban gives you the mana, which is always good. But I'd say you could swap out Mana Flow ban for maybe like a Gathering Storm, Nullifying Orb if you're versing AP. But the main one is Transcendence. So why can we go Sorcery now? So basically, you always went Inspiration for the Dematerializers, so you could one-shot the wave of level 7 with like 88 AP. But with a new build and the amount of AP in the game, you can get enough AP at level 7 to one-shot the wave without Dematerializers. So right now, you need around 115, 118 AP-ish to one-shot the wave of level 7. I don't know the exact number, but that's very doable. And in around 70-75% of your games, you will get that AP. Let's even say 69% of your games. But yeah, you'll get that AP. So there are more situations where you get that AP, so you don't even need Dematerializers in most of your games. And that being said, you go Sorcery now, and it makes you a lot stronger and a lot more snowballier, which means you can carry the game better. But you could still go the Inspiration page, which we'll talk about right now. Alright, so the Inspiration tree, you want to go Magical Boots and Dematerializers. You can still go Dematerializers because if you want a 100% guarantee one shot, nothing wrong with it, but you don't have to anymore. You could even probably go like Biscuits or even something else. But I like the Inspiration tree just because I get free boots. The free boots is very, very good this season because all your starting items cost more now. So if you're saving 300 gold on boots, then that's 300 gold that will go towards your mythic item, which is pretty strong, and the boots are empowered to give you more movement speed. The reason why I don't like Time War Tonic anymore is because they nerfed Dark Seal's healing. Well, it has no more bonus healing on Corrupting Potion, which means that your Time War Tonic heal is a little bit weaker. And they also removed the lockout from Time War Tonic. So it's sort of harder to use now because if you spam click your potions, then you'll spam click all of your Corrupting Potions, and then you kind of griefed. Because last season, it locks you out. So even if you spam your Corrupting Potion, it only uses one sip. But now, because they removed that, if I'm sort of used to spamming my button, so if I spam Corrupting Potion, I basically sip all my potions. So I kind of don't like that they removed the lockout. It was kind of convenient. But regardless, you can still use this rune page. I just think Sorcery is better now. But if you're someone who doesn't like Sorcery, then I recommend going like Boots, Dematerializers, or Boots Biscuits, or even Boots Futures Market. Futures Market's pretty good too now. Helps you build your items faster. But yeah, that's Inspiration rune page. And lastly, the last viable rune page for Ekko is sort of like a Bruiser-ish Ekko with like Riftmaker. And that's Conquer Ekko. You'll go Conquer, Presence of Mind for the mana, because there's a lot less mana in the game now. Tenacity for the CC, Coup de Grace. And then you go Sudden Impact to Ravenous Hunter. Or you could even go Sorcery for the also Transcendence, but I think that the healing on Ravenous Hunter is super important. But yeah, so this would be the rune page for like top lane Ekko or maybe even jungle Ekko. If you go jungle Ekko, you also want to take the attack speed flex stat instead of the raw AP, just so you auto attack the jungle camps more. But yeah, this is just the Conquer, Bruiser, top lane, jungle, Ekko rune page. Not much to say about it. I don't think top lane Ekko or jungle Ekko is that good. It's still playable. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the build for it, but it's not that good compared to like mid lane Ekko. But if you do want to run Conquer, this is the room page that I would use. But yeah, these are the 3 room pages for Ekko. So let's get into the builds. Alright guys, let's talk about the best item built for Ekko in the mid lane as full AP. We'll talk about Riftmaker Conqueror next. But firstly, let's talk about the full AP mid. So what you want to have Flash and Teleport as your summoner spells. We no longer need Ignite for lane because we have Oblivion Orb for the anti-healing, which is such a super strong item and super cheap. Probably one of the best changes Riot Games did. But yeah, so you want Flash and Teleport. And we're changing things up. Because we're going Sorcery now, we want to start Dark Seal and Refillable Potion. Why? This is a very greedy start, but it's actually not that greedy because we have Teleport. So at 3 minutes, you'll run out of mana, but you'll have 400 gold. So at 3 minutes after the Cannon Wave, you want to back, buy a Doran's Ring, and TP back to lane, and then you'll be ready at 3 minutes and like 10 seconds for the Scuttle fight, and you'll have Dark Seal, Doran's Ring refillable for the Scuttle fight, and you'll just be the stronger mid laner. You'll have, more starting items, and you'll have a pretty nice advantage. So it's a good way to cheese early game and get a nice advantage for Scuttle fight. And on top of that, your TP will be back up by like 9 minutes, 9-10 minutes. So that's a pretty important time in the game to also have your TP back as well. So you basically use your TP early for, to win lane and for the Scuttle fight, which is really important. But anyway, after this, you want to start building your mythic item, which will either be Portal Belt or Night Harvester. Honestly, I think Portal Belt will be better than Night Harvester, especially next patch, because they're both all the items are getting nerfed for Ekko next patch. But I think that Portal Belt with the Magic Pen will just do a lot more damage than Night Harvester. And because we're going Transcendence, I don't actually need the CDR, ability haste that you get from the Night Harvester passive. Although Night Harvester is super fun, I think Portal Belt is just better. And I've always been a Portal Belt fanboy. But that being said, you want to start by buying a Blasting Wand and the 2 Amplifying Tomes. When you finish your first Amplifying Tome and you have like 1 stack of your Dark Shield because of a kill or an assist, you should be able to one-shot the wave level 7. But if you're having like an average game or like a slower game, then you will need your second Amplifying Tome if you have no Dark Shield stacks. And that might come like at level 8 because it requires a little bit more gold. But yeah, this should allow you to one-shot the wave guaranteed if you get these items. And then after that, I hate building this Ruby Crystal because it's kind of, I don't know. There's no more Kindle Gem, right? So it's kind of useless. So I just build Boots instead. And then, unless I have enough gold to fully finish Rocket Build. But if I don't, then I just buy Boots instead. Boots are always nice to have early. And then, boom, you finish your Portal Belt. Or if you like Night Harvester. But I think Portal Belt is better. So now this is where the build gets spicy. If you have your Medjay, if you're snowballing, buy a Medjay's right away. If you have like over 7 stacks, buy Medjay's right away, but make sure you don't die. If you die, don't be scared to die. This is like Dark Seal and Medjay's are the strongest items in the game. If you have confidence in yourself, build Medjay's and snowball and win the game. And then after that, you buy your Stork Boots as well. And with Portal Belt, Medjay's, Stork Boots, you're doing so much Magic Pen with Sudden Impact as well. You'll get 5 Magic Pen for Medjay's. You'll get 18 for your Stork Boots, so that's what, 23, and then plus 6 for Sudden Impact. You're doing 29 Magic Pen. So you have such a strong early game if you're snowballing. But if you're not, then sit on your Dark Seal. But yeah, then you have a choice to build Lichbane or Nashers. I actually told you guys to build Void Staff, second item in my last video, and it is good still, but that's like for raw damage. I don't really value like item passives. So Void Staff is the best third or fourth item, and I'll explain it. But anyway, you want to pick next item after this. You want to go Lichbane or Nashers. So if you want raw damage, raw DPS, have the most possible output of damage you have, you go Nashor's Tooth. If you want the same burst damage, but not same DPS, and what I mean by that is Lichbane and Nashor's has pretty much the same burst damage, except Nashor's like 10, 20 more damage. But then Nashor's you auto attack, right? So that becomes a lot of DPS. But Lichbane gives you that 10% movement speed. So either raw damage and DPS or good burst and movement speed. So movement speed, you have to value movement. I didn't personally value this as much as I should have, But thinking about it, the movement speed is so important for like roaming and like side laning. You go from 375 movement speed to like 422, which is a lot of movement speed to like juke people and outplay people. So that's why I think I personally will be going Lich Bane even after the hard nerfs this patch, because that movement speed is insane. But if you want even more damage, you go Nashor's Tooth. But for now, let's go. Let's go Lich Bane. So you build Lich Bane next. Build the Sheen last because it's the worst one. You want to build Aether Wisp, Blasting Wand first. And then after this is when you build Voice Staff. This is when the Voice Staff is at its strongest, at third or fourth item if you build your Magi Soul Stealer. Usually third, fourth item. Voice Staff is the best because at this point in the game, they're guaranteed to have around 60 MR, and that's when the Void Staff's value just starts to skyrocket. So this is how you're... Basically, at this point in the game, you should be hard snowballing and winning the game already. Like, you're so strong with these items. Ekko is just so strong with these items. And then you pretty much have one item slot left. And then it really depends on the game. But before I continue, I want to talk about situational items. So if the enemy team has a healer, you want to make sure you build your Oblivion Orb. Let's put that here. Let's actually call this situational. So if you build Oblivion Orb before you even build your Portal Belt, you want to build Oblivion Orb if they have a lot of healers. And if you're versing like a Talon or like a Zed or something, you want to go Seekers before you finish your Portal Belt because these two are like the strongest items in the game for their value. And then you'll eventually upgrade them into a Morellamachon or a Zanya's, just depending on the game. Very situational. Like I said, these will be like one of your like last items. The top is your core, and then on top of that, you could also build, a Death Cap as last item, or you could even build Demonic Embrace for the tankiness. You could even build Nashers to complement the Lich Bane. So basically, the top row is basically guaranteed to build unless you want to swap out Lich Bane for Nashers. And then the second row is pretty much situational or last item. So that's pretty much the core Ekko build that I've been using. Very strong. Usually the game will be decided at Portal Belt, Magi's, Sork Boots, Lich Bane. The game is pretty much already decided. Voice Staff as well. And I haven't even gotten to last item that often. So we'll see what happens with, the state of the game. It's preseason. It's pretty crazy. So the games are usually ending pretty fast. But yeah, this is pretty much the build for Ekko. For Ekko AP, full AP mid. So let's get into the Conqueror build. Alright, so for Ekko top or Ekko jungle or Conqueror-ish, whatever you want to call it, I'm not crazy about this build because I actually don't play Ekko top or Ekko jungle unless I'm auto-filled. And if I do go Conquer, then this is sort of what I do. So for this, you want to go Corrupting Potion start because you will never be able to one-shot the wave unless you go Inspiration, because this build doesn't do enough damage, but you won't really be going even Inspiration with Conquer because you want to go Domination for the healing or even Sorcery for the CDR ability haste. So you won't even go Inspiration usually with Conquer. So you definitely want your Corrupting Potions to survive early game, and then you want your Dark Seal Doran's Ring to survive early game. And like I said, you won't be able to one-shot the wave, so you want to try to survive as much as possible until level 9. And then obviously you build into Riftmaker. So for Riftmaker, depending on what you need, if you need a lot of sustain, then go quickly for the Leeching Leer. But if you seem to be okay in lane, then you can go for the Blasting Wand first because it'll give you more damage. But anyway, you build your Riftmaker. Same thing goes for your Magi's. If your Magi's is already stacked because you got some kills, finish your Magi's. It's super strong. And then also make sure to finish your boots. I'm not sure what the best boots are for Riftmaker Ekko. Maybe you want to go defensive boots because you're going to be sort of on the tankier side. But like I said, if you're snowballing, if you want to carry the game, Sork boots are super strong. Especially because the Riftmaker does give you magic penetration on its passive. So if you have flat pen plus percent pen, you'll be breaking a lot of MR on the enemy team. And then after this, the core build goes Nashers for the DPS with Riftmaker and Conquer. And then after that, you go Demonic Embrace for the tankiness and more DPS, more burn, more tank killing machine. So this is pretty much the core for Riftmaker Ekko. The last item, like, it's pretty much the same as regular Ekko. You could go Lichbane, you could go Zanya's, Morello, whatever you need. Void Staff. It really depends on what you need. This is pretty much what you will be building pretty much every game. And aside from that, is purely depending on the game and whatever you want to build. You might even want to build a tankier items after this. You know, you might want to go like, I don't know, like some tanky item, maybe like a Bramble Vest or Dead Man's. Honestly, it really depends. Honestly, I haven't even ever gotten to a 6th item with this build. The game is usually over by Demonic Embrace. But yeah, you can build any item you want after this. It won't even really matter. I'd probably go with like Void Staff because it's super cheap. Or I'd go with like a defensive item like Morellonomicon or Zanya's. So it just really depends on the game at this point. But the core build with Riftmaker and Conquer is Riftmaker, Medjai's, Nashor's, Demonic Embrace. So pretty quick explanation because I don't really play Conquer Ekko that much, but that's what I would do. Alright, so let's now talk about the must-bans of Preseason 11 and Patch 10.24. So I only banned 2 mid laners so far. Obviously, there's a lot of mid laners that Ekko doesn't like. But the 2 ones that are the hardest for Ekko right now are Akali and Aurelia. Aurelia is the #1 hardest counter for Ekko in mid lane. You could ask any high-elo Ekko player. Aurelia just counters you at every stage of the game. And also, all her items counter you. So you want to avoid Aurelia as much as possible. But Aurelia is not that popular, and you have to be good enough with her to carry the game. So even if there is a Fed Aurelia, there is a good chance that they may throw the game because you have to be pretty experienced with her. But my permaban is Akali. Akali is just Akali. I permaban her. She's cancer. But what you want on the bottom are the champions that are not in mid lane that you want to 100% avoid. You want to avoid a Mumu because he's the most broken champion in the game right now. Wow. Fiora for top lane is super hard. Graves is just one of the best junglers always. Kha'Zix is one of the best assassin junglers right now. Want to avoid him. Hecarim is always strong in the jungle, and if you see him ganking you, you're probably already dead because you can't outrun him. And then Samira is pretty much the best AD carry in the game, and she's pretty much the only AD carry that can just literally tilt you out of the face of the world. So all the champions on the screen right now, you want to avoid or ban. Obviously, there's more champions like Yasuo that are super annoying for Ekko, those champions. But the ones on the screen are like pretty much the ones that I just can't stand no matter what. So those are the champions that I would avoid. So for Ekko's patch rating in patch 10.24, I give Ekko an S-. I think Ekko is a very good snowballing, strong AP champion right now. He's a lot stronger than last season, and it's a lot easier to snowball with Medjai's and stuff this season, so that's really good for Ekko. And he has a pretty high win right now as well. They are nerfing a lot of AP items next patch, but I think you'll still be able to snowball harder and do more damage than you did last season at the same points in the game, which is really good for Ekko. The only thing that's really stopping Ekko are like the crazy tanks like Amumu and stuff, and like Bruiser champions like Hecarim, Fiora, all those type of champions. And then you also have like Akali's in mid lane and Aurelia's, but you could ban those and avoid them as well. But aside from that, Ekko has pretty much a free game to carry and snowball. If you play Ekko well, you could snowball really hard and just one-shot literally anybody. So I think Ekko is in a pretty good spot right now. Hopefully he doesn't get nerfed, because I feel like a lot of things in the game are pretty broken right now, not just like Ekko. Pretty much every champion, like if Amumu has a 60% win rate, you know that a lot of things in the game are broken right now. So obviously things will change, but in terms of Ekko, I think he's a solid S-. In mid lane, I think Ekko jungle and Ekko top are like C+, B-. I think they're pretty bad compared to other champions, but Ekko mid is a solid S-. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.